Stockwell Eldridge Show, giving you the real-time information you need to make educated decisions about buying and selling in the world-renowned Twin Cities. Now your hosts and real estate experts, Jason Stockwell and Don Eldridge.
Good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results. You're listening to the Stockwell Eldridge Show every Sunday, 10 a.m. here on AM 1280 The Patriot. You can also find us on Facebook under the Stockwell Eldridge Show, also on YouTube, and under tcrealestatehour.com, tcrealestatehour.com. We have a great show for you today. Dawn is out. Her son has strep, unfortunately, so she will not be joining us. However, we will be having our co-host be the wonderful Sparkles, Stephanie Havel, who is here with Wells Fargo. And she'll be our co-host. We have a great show for you today. We have a special guest. Tom Soderberg is here. Some of you may know his family, and we'll get into the business and dealings that they've got going on. They've got a lot going on, and we'll hear his story, what businesses he's running now, and what's going on, and maybe tie in, being that it's a lot of it's real estate related, tie into what's happening in the marketplace right now. Welcome, Stephanie Havel with Wells Fargo.
Good morning.
Sparkles is here. Welcome, Tom. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
And the other thing I want to talk about is I just finished listening to a webinar from the wonderful, the famous, the Graphs and Laughs economist that we quote occasionally. We quote on this show occasionally, Elliot Eisenberg.
He's coming to the Twin Cities too. Did you know that?
He is?
Yes, I'll send you the invite.
Send me the invite.
I saw it. We'll go together.
Yeah,
How about that?
I'd love to go. He just did a 1 hour long webinar on his predictions and forecast for this year, for 2017. And actually, he went out to 2018, 19. He went out a ways with the Trump administration of what's going on, with what's projecting with the economy, and they don't want with inflation and all kinds of things like that. Here's the rundown on housing. He had a whole big long segment on housing.
Is it good?
It's good.
Okay.
But he said it's not like home run good. He used baseball a lot. It's not like double good even, like you're hitting doubles and singles. It's more like you're doing a sacrifice fly to get a run, or you're bunting and you're diving at first to get on base. It's a grind, he called it, a heavy, heavy grind in housing because two reasons. Credit is tight still. It's tough to get a mortgage. You really get run through the ringer. That's why the mortgage notes that we have out there right now, he said, are the best. They're top.
Absolutely.
Infinitesimal default rates right now is what he said on those. And they're very, very tough to get credit. So that's why it's a grind to get a house.
Okay.
And then the second reason is inventory, lack of inventory. There's not enough housing available. And the builders aren't building enough housing. And the ones they're building, they're either heavy on multifamily housing, or they're building too large of a home. So they're building, the average square foot home is bigger than so there's nothing affordable for those millennials that are in the multifamily. The millennials are driving the multifamily housing right now, and they're actually boomers as well. But when they go out and when a good economy is going on, you have a lot of family formations, right? When there's a good economy. When there's a horrible economy in the recession, that's when there's not a lot of family formations, and that's why housing goes down. So family formations are going to be growing. Housing demand will be growing, but there's not enough supply of the housing to meet the needs of the millennials.
Well, and I think we are getting away from the McMansions, right?
Yes.
I mean, that seemed like that was the thing.
Well, that's what people think we are, but statistically we're not.
These millennials?
He showed that the builders aren't building a product yet that meets the needs of the millennials, and they're still building homes that are 3,000 square feet or more. That's
okay.
An overwhelming majority of the new construction on single family. He sees a shift in that. The problem is what we're seeing, and Tom, you're probably getting into this too, is if you want there's a drive to the city. A lot of people are demand going inward. There's no land. So
right.
But they don't want a condo. They don't want a high rise. They don't want this. Well, then what are you going to do, right? I mean, that's kind of the dilemma, with and the cost to build is only going to be going up because of unemployment is going down, and still going to go down. He predicts. That webinar is phenomenal. I think they're going to replay it. We will actually post that webinar if we can get the replay on it, which we will.
Yeah,
so look for that on our Facebook page. We'll post that webinar from Elliot Eisenberg. It was phenomenal. It's really, really good. With all kinds of stuff on interest rates. Interest rates, he thinks they're going to stay low through the first half of this year. They probably won't do a rate hike until maybe June or July. All through the remainder of this year, this should be really good. He thinks. He said if you're in the refi business, though, find another job because it's probably not going to be a lot of refis. However, HELOCs and ARMs will probably come back and be popular again because people don't stay in their home necessarily for 30 years. Why lock into a 30-year rate? Also, if you lock into that rate, you're hedging against not ever refinancing again, not ever moving again. Mm-hmm. So why do that if your statistics show that you're probably going to refinance at some point or you're probably going to be moving?
Well, in home equities, and a couple of comments.
And HELOCs will hedge the interest rate.
Well, right, because if people can't move now, okay, well then let's just expand on the current house that we have, right? So they've already locked in at their really great low rate. They've refinanced in the past year or 2 years. So yeah, home equity is a great resource, and Wells Fargo has some great home equity products and you don't have to take the money out all at once. Some people think, well, I don't want to take out this big chunk of interest
I'm not going to use it all.
Yeah, so fine, take it out and get the countertops and the cabinets, and then you can take out another chunk of money and so forth and do it gradually. But I think it's what we talk about all the time too, Jason, with the credit tightening and things like that. It's just more and more why you want to get approved. I mean, it is tightening, but then again, we're seeing. I just had a team call yesterday, and just some, in talking with customers, and like, wow, we got that one closed. We're all high fiving because it was just some challenging situations, whether it was with property or income or credit or anything like that.
Yeah.
And we really worked together to find a solution. So that's why I really always say, get prepared. If you really think, even if you don't think you're going to buy till the summer or next fall, if kids are changing schools, but get in and talk to somebody and find out what it is, because there's also a lot of products and programs that we can help you get prepared. So even if the rates are going up, okay, that's fine. Let's get your credit in order. Let's get your income, your savings, whatever it is you need. Get prepared. But I think it's going to be a great opportunity.
So boots on the ground. What are we seeing in the marketplace right now for buyers and sellers? For buyers and sellers, what I'm seeing right now is a lot of sellers, a lot of boomer sellers that are in their 50s, close to retirement. They're in a home and it may need some repair. Mm-hmm. Or they're in a home and they want to go to a new construction. We have a development, and this will lead right in with Tom too, but my clients have a development in Richfield called Sheridan Villas. It's just a 5-unit townhome. I wish they had 10 acres and they could build 50 of these things, but because they're all huge demand for them, and all from that segment of people that have they're all in either Minneapolis, Richfield, or Bloomington, seems like, or Edina actually, and they have a home they've been in a long time, and it's time. Things are the big capital improvements for the home are starting to come forward. They don't want to put 30, 40, 50 grand into that home at this time. They want to make the move now. And then live in new construction. So.
And they're one level living, right?
One level living.
Okay, well,
one level living.
Yeah, I mean, I can attest. I had to have a knee surgery, and I had to fight because I was too young to get one. But I mean, look at all the orthopedic places popping up like crazy. Yes. I told my niece and nephew who are going to nursing, go into orthopedics because you are going to have a job for a long time. But that just goes back to where I think then there's a demand for the one level living, because I don't want stairs. I have stairs in my house. I'm already thinking I'm ready to move to a Rambler. So I think, that's what we're going to see a lot more of that as well.
So that's what I've seen, and then people are preparing early. So buyers are starting to prepare early. They know that this year, the spring has already started. It's January. We're already into the season of selling and buying, and it's already happening. And from a seller standpoint, I can't stress enough, if you're a seller, please start earlier than you anticipate. So many people wait, and then you end up missing the actual high point in the market or the highest demand in the market.
Well, and they don't have to, I would say, and this is where your expertise could come in, because sometimes I think people might have the mindset too, like, I can't have, put my house in the market, we got to clean it up, and we got to do all this stuff first. I would think that you want to just come and talk to you, right? Just because then you could maybe advise them on, look, okay, you don't need to do all that stuff. I mean, you might need to clean this out, but that out. But I would think just get an initial consultation, and then, in the meantime, you can start cleaning and decluttering or whatever you suggest.
And have a deadline. Put a deadline out there so that you actually have something to go for. Even if you overshoot the deadline, at least you have a date. Otherwise, the stuff never happens, and the clutter stays there. The stuff that you need to do never
So call you now to get an appointment.
Yeah, and if you meet now, then it'll start the ball rolling, and we're not going to judge your home on what you have in there, or debris, or anything like that.
You've already seen everything.
Oh yeah, we've seen more than.
Well, you can see through it, right? I mean, you're not there to say, oh my God, what's these coals on the floor, her cabinet walls.
So start early. The early seller gets the buyer, or buyers, I should say. So segue to Tom. I want to hear Tom's story a little bit here and introduce Tom Soderberg before we roll into the next segment. My clients are building at Sheridan Villas right off 76th and Sheridan in Richfield. Right next door is an apartment building that used to be called the Crossroads in Richfield. Right on the border, right by Southtown and just north of Southtown in Bloomington.
It's at the corner of Penn and 494.
Penn and 494, yes. Mm-hmm. Very, very busy area, hopping area.
Yep.
Best Buy's right there, obviously, and all that stuff.
Oh, okay, sure.
So, Tom, you guys, tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself, what you guys do, and a little bit more about that facility and
my name
project.
is Tom Soderberg, and I met Jason some years ago. I've installed probably hundreds of kitchens for Jason, I would think.
Or my clients.
Or
yeah, my clients, yeah.
Jason, what are you blowing up all
not
these
that
kitchens or what?
He's not that hungry.
Burning them down.
And so I had a company, Quick Kitchens, and my competitive advantage was really my product. I brought product in from China, which is kind of a 5-letter word or a 4-letter word to some people. But that's where we got it from, and we had exceptional pricing. So with that, we were able to, pass that on to our customers, and I think that worked out very well. I changed over to working directly for Ngy Stone and selling their product for them, and I do it nationwide right now. I just set up distributors around the country, and the pricing is quite phenomenal, as you can imagine. And I brought in some samples for the viewing audience to look at right now.
On our YouTube.
All right.
And on YouTube. And, the popular colors right now are pure white. Another popular color is espresso, and the other popular color is antique white. I think that's the colors that people are kind of using a lot of, especially like in the rehabs, and in granite, of course. People, the millennials, they grew up with granite in their house, with their parents, and they want it, even if they're going into an apartment complex. They want it. We're putting it in all the apartment complexes. One of the complexes that we just did was the Concierge, and the Concierge has all granite countertops, and it's a 700-unit building, 698 building, and it happens to be right next to development that Jason is doing, which worked out great because we redid the Concierge, and Jason was redoing his, and it was kind of a synergistic thing.
The colors when you drive down 76, folks, and you're looking at. You're going from east to west, and you pass Best Buy, and you look at the Concierge, and you see the color scheme on the Concierge, and then you look at the Sheridan Villas 5-unit. They match. I almost like they didn't plan it.
Yes.
No one planned this. It just worked out beautifully. So, so we'll be back with more because I want to hear about the granite supply and the Ngy Stone company when we get back from Tom. Stay tuned. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Stephanie Havel, Wells Fargo Home Mortgage.
Let's do the grind.